What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be making a video based on safety equipment you should carry for beginners and people looking to get into ocean kayak fishing and going out in the sea, and the things that you're required by law to have, and then just things you just should have. Going through here, you're going to see the items that are essential to have and the things that are just extra, and then some that are required by law, but the things that I carry to make sure that I get home safe and to make sure that you have a good day on the water. First thing is the most important is your PFD, okay? And then you have your whistle, which is mandatory by law. You have your bailing device. If you start taking on water, you better hope you have this, because you're gonna wish you did. If you're on the ocean, or just even in lakes in general, a 360 light is pretty important to have if you're going to be fishing when it gets darker out. This is a whole LED whip. It lights the whole thing up, and you can see this thing for miles. It's bright, or you can turn it down if you don't want it too bright. It also, has a light, that's so bright to the point where you can see what's going on in your cockpit. As well, if you're going out at nighttime, you should have your bow lights, green and red. Safety equipment would be your first aid kit, band-aids, water tape, gauze. There's a knife in there. Anything should happen. A good thing to have, but not necessary to have, is steps. You tie these off to the handle with a strap, and then you deploy it. And as you can see in the illustration on the packing, it makes getting in your boat a lot easier in the event that you're tired or you just can't pull yourself up. Now you have easier ways to get up and back into your kayak. Okay. Your spare toolbox with all your extra bolts, marine putty or silicone zip ties. There's spare plastics in here in the event you get a hole or something like that. You can deal with all that later. Anything that's essential to the boat's running is in there and keeping it going. On the old towns, there's a spare pin for your prop in your safety key, which attaches to your PFD. If you're out in marine waters, your VHF radio is vitally important, okay? That's how you get a hold of the Coast Guard, other boaters, your friends, however you or whoever you need to get a hold of. This is what you want to have. A lot of people want scupper plugs. They don't want water in the inside of their cockpit. If you're going to use a scupper plug, I highly recommend you get a self-draining scupper plug, because if you take on water, you want that water to drain, okay? If not, you're going to fill up and you're going to get top heavy and you're going to roll. So if you're going to get scupper plugs, I really highly recommend self-draining. Okay. This is your flare or your torch. It's battery operated, obviously, because I don't want an actual torch in my boat or a flare, a pyrotechnic. I don't want that in my boat. These are battery operated. They are Coast Guard legal, and you can see these from miles away as well. And it strobes in the SOS mode, and as well as it floats, okay? It's not necessary, but a good fish finder is always a good important thing for safety, being that it gives me my coordinates of my exact location. It tells me which direction I'm heading with the compass tape at the top of my screen. And then I also, for me, when I go out in the ocean, I have one of these. It's a Garmin InReach Mini. It's a satellite communicating device which gives your exact location if you should hit the SOS mode to Garmin's support team, which will then get a hold of whoever the local responding units are of your exact location, and you clip this to your PFD. So if you should fall in, get separated from your kayak in any way, and you're floating, they're gonna find you. If you're on the ocean, it's a big ocean. This will really help get you back home and get you safe. You can replace a kayak, you can't replace yourself, okay? One of the last things I want to go over is making sure your batteries are charged, okay? I'm going to make another video based on just the things I do to my kayak specifically for safety reasons and concerns, and make sure I get home. But make sure your batteries are charged before you go. Make sure you have battery monitors on them, so you check them periodically. Make sure you're not running low on battery. Make sure your VHF radio battery is fully charged before you go. For me, my inReach, I make sure it's charged. Make sure all your batteries are charged. Check them. You don't want to get out there and then die halfway, you know, into your paddling or motoring or whatever you're doing, and then you're just out. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, reach out to me, comment. I'll answer anything, open book, whatever's on your mind. We can talk about it. Okay. Stay tuned for another video for the things I do specifically to my boat to make sure that I get in and out safe and return home all whole.